Hello and welcome, everybody. My name is Scott Schilling, and that's why you're tuned into Scott Schilling Speaks. Another exciting episode here today. Have a new friend that we're going to learn a lot about here today. She's an alignment coach for global brands, for executives, for corporations, for CEOs, so much more. Dimple Thakrar, thanks for being here today.
Oh, thanks for having me, Scott. What a blessing. Appreciate it.
Really appreciate, we got introduced a little bit ago and, you said, I want to continue to get my message out while I'm in the States. And I said, I'd love to have you and be able to do that. So share with everybody a little bit about your background and what your message is, and we'll go from there. How's that sound?
That sounds amazing. Thank you so much. I so appreciate this connection and opportunity to speak to your audience. So, so my name's Dimple Thakrar. I'm born in the UK, based in the UK, Indian origin, and I'm in the States at the moment because my brand is global. I have clients all over the world, and really what my story is very much around how we lose who we are because we assume we should be something else, right? And most of my life, I've tried to be something everybody else wanted me to be in my perception, right? As a young child, I tried to be thinner than what I could be, nearly lost my life to anorexia because of that, because I thought that I should look like what the magazines taught me to. Right.
Sure.
And so constantly finding love and joy and happiness in external things. And then the same thing happened with my marriage, constantly wanting to be the perfect wife, wanting to be the perfect mother, wanting to please everybody and not pleasing anybody, least of all myself. And so, and also seeking happiness in others, expecting others to provide it for me. I spent a lifetime, decades, thinking it was my husband's job to make me happy, right? Thinking, why is he doing the things he's doing? And that doesn't make me happy and it's all his fault. And actually realizing that I was handing over my power to him. I was handing over the responsibility to him. And what a huge burden for him, right?
Sure.
And setting myself up to fail in the process of it all, right? And no idea of it, no idea, totally unconscious that that's what I was doing, expecting him to make me happy, expecting him to provide for me, and then blaming him when I wasn't. That was the biggest piece, right? And so we went, he's a serial entrepreneur. I'm super successful in my businesses and spent a lifetime seeking happiness and love outside of me, a lifetime, at the same time as being a coach. And so I kind of had this huge awakening when I went to a Tony Robbins event where I had a two-hour intervention with Tony, where he literally made me realize that I was operating in the wrong energy for me. My core energy is feminine, and I was spending my whole life operating in my masculine. And it's not about right or wrong. It's about being truthful and authentic and in alignment with who you are as an individual. So I realized that I was operating in 80% masculine and 20% feminine. And no wonder I had constant headaches. No wonder I had constant neck ache, because it was manifesting in my physical body. Because my true alignment for me is 80% feminine and 20% masculine. It's not about the numbers. It's about what's right for you, right? And as a result, I nearly lost the love of my life, because the impact on him was I was demasculating him and I was causing him to respond, right? And he was then misaligned. We depolarized each other. And we were planning our divorce for our 25th wedding anniversary. It's through the grace of God that I was gifted Tony Robbins to be able to bring me back. And he saw in me what I didn't see in me, which is my core is love. My core is alignment. And because he saw that in me, I was then able to see it in others. And we shifted it, and we celebrated our 26th wedding anniversary just last week. And so thank you. Have I got it right all the time? No, I'm still struggling with making the right decisions, with being a parent right now, here and now. I'll be open and vulnerable, right? My 17-year-old daughter's messaging me today, issues with her. And do I navigate that every day? I see it as an opportunity to grow, because it's real, it's life.
Right.
Right.
For sure.
And I'm a mother of two amazing daughters. We, as a couple, we had 5 babies transition through us, and we're gifted with 2 that are with us in this life right now. So the work I do is so heart-centered, because I've walked the path. It's not like I've read it in a textbook. Yes,
Right.
I have the qualifications, of course I do, but I've literally walked this path. And so the work I do is all about, how can I support you to be in such congruence and alignment spiritually, energetically, and then in this world, in all areas of your world, relationship with yourself, with others, with your family, with your friends, with your work colleagues. Because when you live in that place, and it's not always comfortable, when you live in that place, that's when the magic happens in no time. And you and I have these conversations. We had a beautiful conversation about this, right, Scott? About
Right.
how be your truth. And that takes work. That's every day. That's every day, checking in with yourself, being conscious. Because you and I both know 95% of what we do is unconscious. We're not awake.
Yeah,
So
we're just going through the process. It's interesting. We had that conversation just the other day on this show. Well, and it's one of the reasons that I love doing the show is to help people not only share their message, but help people receive the messages that they need to receive. In alignment is a really big thing. It's interesting. Just thinking of it now, a couple of things that have happened this week. I've had people share with me that they believe I'm aligned, doing what I'm meant to do. But there's some other people that we know mutually that aren't quite as aligned. And it's interesting. I did not think about it until just now. That I guess that's something we live with every day, right? We put ourselves into the situation where hopefully, and trust me, I work on this every day myself, is to be as congruent and um, along what I believe to be my path the very best I possibly can consistently. So, and yet we sometimes work with others who are not so much that way, or we run into others. Is that part of maybe our gifting, that we're supposed to help them with their alignment, or just be the example, the living example in front of them?
it's a brilliant question. And I believe, and these are my personal beliefs and the way I work, is that if I'm not in alignment and leading by example, then I can't teach them how to be aligned, right? I can't guide them. And it's not even a teaching. Teaching is the wrong word. I feel like it's a guidance. When I work with my clients, I literally hold their hand. I stand by their side. It's not about me saying you do it this way or that way. It's about me saying, I am congruent with who I am. And if this is something you desire, then let's walk this path together. My way is not your way. My way is to help you discover your way, right? Is to actually open the opportunity for them to be unblinded, for them to actually see their blind spots, right? Not in a telling you you're not aligned way, in a, wow, I never saw that.
Yeah.
inviting them to see that there are opportunities for them to grow in a beautiful, loving, conscious way, as opposed to, because believe me, I've had coaches, and I have been one of those coaches where I've said, you need to do it this way. And there's something magic about them discovering the path their way, right?
Yeah.
And the starting point is leading by example. It's been completely congruent and vulnerable and saying, I got it wrong.
Yeah. I think virtually everyone, me included, would be a little bit better off if we would just admit to those times that we got off course and have gone in that direction. So as an alignment coach, how do you help others then gain their alignment, get back on the path, and help them make sure that it is the right path for them?
Right. It's a brilliant question. Thank you. So there's a couple of methods I use. I'm an NLP practitioner. I'm also a theta healer. So I use strategy and energy. So I work with spirit, because for me, working in the quantum, so quantum physics, working in the quantum means that you get results very quickly. But in order to get people on that path, they have to believe that it's possible. So that requires strategy, right? That requires them to see the evidence that they've already achieved it in so many areas in their lives. So it starts with honesty. I have a model called the heart model. It starts with honesty. It starts with, where are you at in your life right now? What's working for you? What's not? And let's set the ground, right? Let's start with celebrating your achievements right now, right? Because when we work in that vibration of celebration, gratitude, that's when we can start with the magic. So that's the honesty piece. And also being honest with where you're not at. Where do you want to go? Right? Let's see where the gap is. So we start with that. We then work into E, which is education. Let's make you aware of the pieces that you're not sure of. Put the puzzle pieces in place, right? And then articulating your truth. Let's talk about it, right? Let's resolve and forgive the places. And then let's try new things. That's the heart model that I work through. So it's about, where do you want to be? Where are you at? And let's develop the roadmap to getting you there, right? And that can be in any areas. And often people come to me with relationship, with business issues, and what they actually need is very different. So for example, I had a super successful entrepreneur who's brilliant. He's like taken 8 businesses to what is it called when you take them to public, right? His last business was where he in 18 months he took it to where Snapchat was buying it from it. That's how good he was.
Wow.
And yet he still didn't feel success. He didn't still feel aligned in who he was. So his relationships were failing. Just working with me over 3 sessions, he got like 800, and it was a ridiculous number when he worked it out, 840% return on investment, $250,000 he saved because he shifted in alignment. And it was so simple yet so profound. And these are the things that if we can, and it's not that he was doing anything wrong, it was just he couldn't see where he was projecting.
Right.
And you've had, you can appreciate these results. It's not anything special. It's just clarity on purpose, clarity on vision. When we're clear and we lift the veil, we lift the fog, it's magic what can occur and what we can magnetize. It's law of attraction. It's magnetizing, it's manifesting. It's all the things that we do unconsciously. What we do is we create consciousness. We all manifest,
Yeah,
right?
no, that's very cool. So what 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 happens, or how do you pull it all together when there's this plethora of opportunity, when there are a variety of paths that at the outset all look to be very positive ways to add to the greater good, how do you
Yes.
pull that all together to really align and find what is the path?
Yeah, that's a great, great question, because what a beautiful place to have so many opportunities, right? And
Right.
this is what happens when people start working with me. Suddenly there's like a abundance of opportunities, and that's then a great place, and also a very confusing place.
Exactly. That's where the question comes from, which is how do you assure the appropriate alignment?
Yes. So there's strategies and techniques that I use, which is all about feeling into what is the path for you. And for one person, it may be different to another. And I was working with a researcher just recently, actually, at I'm in San Diego. So at the University of California, San Diego, I was working with a researcher because with working with me, he suddenly had all these business opportunities like, Dimple, where do I go? And within 30 minutes, he was so clear, because what we do is we work on purpose and mission.
Mhm.
What is your purpose? What is your mission? Does this opportunity move you in that direction, or does it not? And it's a simple question like that. Once you're clear on what your mission is, and I'll give you an example. Mine is raising the vibration of love consciousness in the world, promoting relationships so that they feel aligned with who you are. And so using some NLP strategies, I literally give them their roadmap to the questions. So when an opportunity comes, is it an alignment with your mission? Is it an alignment? And actually what happens is, through doing some NLP strategies and clearing some old beliefs and actually shifting DNA, shifting past life work, they get so much clarity that it's almost like it's an absolute yes or it's a no. And it's literally that quick. So as the opportunity comes in, they go into a process, they go, okay, is this in alignment with me? They get the feeling of yes or no, their own personal code and signature,
Right.
which is developed with working with me, right? Very quickly. Like for me, I know there's an absolute feeling within my body, and it's in the pit of my stomach. I know straight away, even with the interview with you that we had prior to this conversation, straight away it was either a yes or a no to doing this conversation. And that was all to do with me being so congruent and clear on my purpose, right?
Got it.
So it's a yes or a no. Is it in the direction of my satellite navigation to my endpoint, or is it not? If it's not, it's a deviation and I go all off route, and my energy and my efforts are taken away. And that then means I have not only taken energy away, but I've also not given its distraction. So the effort isn't on the route, right?
Right.
And this is where getting results in quantum time is the piece.
It's
Right?
interesting. Yeah, it's interesting because literally just before we went on air, I was on a call with a client and was sharing, and we brought up that exact same piece, and he said, "I think I finally figured out that there are just some opportunities that are pure distractions."
Yes.
And I said,
Yeah.
"I totally get you, and I believe the one you're talking about is, and you'd be probably better off letting it go." And so totally agree with you on that especially if there's multiple opportunities out there, which we quite frankly are living in a very unique time. Things are either um, I guess part of it is how you look at it all. Are you seeing opportunities in all the junk, or are you just seeing the junk?
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
how do you know which ones are the right ones?
Yeah. Absolutely. And this is where having clarity on what your end point is, this is the gift in some of the greatest coaches, is to provide you with that clarity on your end point, because then the path becomes a lot easier. It's like going on a journey and not putting in your satellite navigation where you want to go.
Right.
Well, your car's going to go all over the place because it doesn't know where it's going, right?
Right.
Whereas you have the endpoint. And yes, there are several routes to that. Whether you take the scenic route, whether you take the fastest route, whether you take a detour, that is where the gift is in understanding how you want to navigate that journey.
Yeah.
Right? And how good it feels, because often what we miss with strategy is, yeah, we have the strategy, somebody can give you the strategy, somebody can write a business plan for you. How it feels to get there is the key, right? You can do it the hard way, or you can do it the effortless way, and both is okay. There's no right or wrong, both is okay. I personally prefer to do it the fun way and the effortless way.
I would think so as well. It would make a whole lot of sense. I was doing it's funny, in reverse. I was the guest on a podcast yesterday in London, in the UK, and towards the end, the gentleman said, he said, "What do you really want to do?" And I said, "Well, I want everything to come together so I can buy my island." And he said, "Well, what do you mean buy an island?" I said, "Well, I have to have some place to tie my catamaran up to." And he goes, "You're serious, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah." Why wouldn't I be? Why wouldn't I want to be in a place that I absolutely love, that's so beautiful, that my wife and I have tremendous fun and relaxation and just being able to enjoy nature? Why
Yes.
wouldn't that be the goal?
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. My husband and I, the same. We're actually living the dream right now because we travel together. We get to do work all over the world. I get to have my business. All I need is a laptop and Wi-Fi, right? And
Yeah,
we're supporting businesses globally all over the world. He does the strategy, I do the energy. Why wouldn't we live the dream? And it's possible for everyone. This is the point. It's actually mind-blowing how simple it can be, and yet we get attached to the struggle because we believe that the struggle, like one of my greatest mentors said something to me, and it was mind-blowing, and it was so simple, and it was, divorce the struggle, not the man. Right?
yeah,
Divorce the struggle. We get so attached to it having to be hard work. And the truth is, we chase it instead of allowing it to come to us. And when we learn how to allow it to come to us, it's crazy the opportunities. This is how we met.
yeah. So how, if you're a quote unquote type A, and you've always been able to make things happen, how do you shift from making things happen to allowing things to happen?
Yeah, it's a great question. So this is the law of manifesting and attraction, right? And I use the analogy of Amazon. And that is, with Amazon, you have to be really specific, right? You don't just go into Amazon and say, I want a book, for example. You
Right.
have to be specific on which book you want, right?
Mhm.
And so which book do you want? How do you identify it, right? You then go in, you find the book. So you set intention on what you want, how you want it. You then decide whether you want it to arrive Amazon Prime the next day, or you're okay for the 5-day thing, right? You
Mhm.
then take action, you purchase, you hit the buy. And then what you do is, do you go, oh, I wonder if it's going to come. I wonder whether it'll come on time. No, you let go because you are so congruent that it's going to come. You're certain it's going to come, right? And then you just wait to receive. And you think you get on with the rest of your day. the problem that we have with a person, and I am an A personality, right? So I've had to work hard on this, right? And the working hard is actually the letting go. It's actually the letting go, right? I have had to trust that I put it out and I manifest exactly what I desire, right? It's my husband sneezing in the corner.
Well, understand.
We're in a hotel room. So I manifest what I desire. So I'll give you an example. I manifested, it came in a meditation that I had to go to a Dr. Joe Dispenza event in 8 days in Cancun. I was in London, didn't have the tickets, just manifested, yep, it's going to happen. I spent the rest of the time absolutely in absolute love and gratitude for it happening. I'd already received it, it was done. And we arrived in Cancun, the tickets were there, the hotel was there, we booked the flights, everything was done in 8 days. Sellout event, right?
Yeah.
Now, the story is incredible. I've done a live on it, so you can go check that out. But the point is, every day we manifest, every day. And it's that simple technique, the Amazon.
Yeah.
Set your intention for what you want and trust that it's possible. Everything is possible, right? And this is where the work happens, Scott. This is where the work happens. You have to put the work in every day, put the work in to meditate and be present. Every day I work with the old patterns of the old stories. Oh, what if it doesn't work? What if this doesn't, right? We have to process that stuff. So manifesting, the actual technique is really simple. Shifting your old patterns is the work, right? Living in the old stories is the work. And I know you do this work every day. I know I do this work every day. And this is when people come to you, talked about being a lead, do you lead, or how do you get people? This is where, when you lead by example, I get people coming to me, and I'm sure you do daily, going, how do you do it, Dimple? How do you live this life every day in alignment? And I say to them, because I'm committed to doing the work every day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I'm committed to sitting with me every day and working through those difficult moments. I had one just now before this call with my daughter. I'm committed to knowing that life is happening for me, not to me. There's a reason that I'm going through the challenges I'm going through right now. And I don't call them challenges anymore. We have to be mindful of our language. I call them opportunities to grow.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I called in 5 miscarriages. I called them in. People say to me, what do you mean? That's an awful thing to say. My soul had to learn something in those, something, and it learned. It learned that I was worthy of being a mother. It learned that it was the greatest gift I could ever have. It learned that I was gifted this beautiful child as a result. Right?
It's amazing. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's that for me, when we can elevate everybody's vibration, then no obstacle is an obstacle. It's an opportunity to grow, right? We were carjacked in Spain. We had everything taken, everything, all my jewelry, our passports, everything. Within half an hour, my husband and I came to a place of gratitude that we were safe and we were alive, and those people that took everything needed it more than us, right? And I'm not saying I'm a saint. It's taken 2 decades to get to here, right? It's taken.
Sure, it took a while.
It took a while, right? And what I help people do is not take 2 decades. I fast track them, as you do, right?
That's the good news. That's the good
right?
news.
And you learn to live and laugh at. You know, I have the crazy. You have the crazy moments.
Yeah. Well,
absolutely, right? As we all do.
It's been absolutely fascinating. We've burned through our time already. Absolutely amazing. How do people get a hold of you to check out your work?
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So follow me on Instagram. It's just my name, Dimple Thakrar, Dimple. Thakrar is Thakrar. Also my website, dimplethakrar.global. It's just really simple. I have so much free content on Instagram, and I do blogs every week, articles, blogs every week. So go check them out. Let me know. Pass a comment if you found me through this. Please tag Scott in, so that I always honor the source of where people find me, because right, it's so important spreading the love. So
Spread the love.
spread the love.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us here on Scott Schilling Speaks. We'll see you again tomorrow, the exact same time. God bless.
God bless.